like stream keys for the like obviously your gamers stuff like that's not a problem, but like the 54-year-old city clerk who suddenly has to do this, like how do you help them navigate the whole foreign word salad of RT
I'll
and
be
P?
honest, we're still like we're early in that, right? And partly it's because people that use our product before were looking for this. How do I
Right.
like
They were already doing it in 4 places, and now they just wanted to do it in that one.
exactly.
So they understood the architecture.
Yes, that was our core customer.
Right.
So that's a great question. I mean, we have help, we have videos, we're working on stuff, trying to improve that.
Yeah.
And so we are nimble in the fact, well, we'll do these like 30-minute like trading sessions. We have to, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because people like ourselves, we get it, but you're right. Now it's totally different. And I've realized that it's like, yeah, we have to do a better job of onboarding them.
Right.
And that's one of the other reasons why we're changing the UI to make it more, you know what your event is, you know the information. And so now at least 85% of that event is created. And the last piece would be take this and put it to your encoder.
Yep.
And so like that's our plan. And so yeah, so this is like this is the API integration that we have. So I could add my YouTube channel, just like everything else.
Nice.
And then once I do that, boom, hit close. And so now I've added while video came in.
Yeah. Well,
Those two destinations went live. I've also added another destination.
That's very cool.
So I can go and look at that channel and see that, we're live here. And I can go back and I can do the same thing here. We have like multiple icons. So if I wanted to see it from the back end, like, so this is the YouTube studio link. Like if I want to go to, I can click on that. And this is the share link as well. I can also now start this platform, and it will just from this point forward, once it propagates and create that event, it'll start streaming, there as well. And so I can individually stop these, I can group stop these. So we kind of give you that control here. So now my YouTube channel is live, so I can actually go there, and I think I'm logged on my personal. And then once this pops up, you see extra connection, boom, there it is inside of the YouTube world, right? I wanted to show you. So one thing that's pretty nifty is, so we support so from an API perspective, I can control this being unlisted now. So now it's unlisted. And if I go back to that stream and it's real time, the stream is, now, well, that's the wrong one. I'm sorry. And if you need to hop up if someone comes, I don't want.
Sure.
Okay. Feel free.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I come back now,
she'll call me over.
That's unlisted.
Yeah.
As well. And then if I need to make it go private, they have that as well. So now it's private. So we have the API integration. So this is what I mean by from a simplicity perspective.
Oh, absolutely.
We show you how many people are watching.
Yeah, no, it's really nimble. So how often, or do you have any mechanism? Because we're getting this all the time now. How do I paywall this? I want people to pay for my streams. How do I paywall this?
Not us, yeah.
No, that's not us either.
Yeah.
But it's mostly because our ecosystem was entirely built on the idea of like our users need to share their content as transparently as possible with everybody. And suddenly now they're all like, a lot of the public access people are scrambling to do money, and they think it's going to be some like money maker.
Really?
It's crazy.
Oh,
it's crazy.
We went through that years
desperate.
ago.
They're desperate.
Yeah, we went through that years ago.
And it's like, you know what? There are people that can help you do that, but we're not going to do that. It's just not it's not our thing.
No.
That's a whole nother thing. So
now if you need to,
yeah.
So what we do have some customers, what they'll do. So Monster Jam, that's a customer of ours, huge customer. They do a lot of stuff. So before they would only use us. So I don't want to spoil this one. You see Grave Digger at one stadium. There's like 8 other Grave Diggers.
Sure. Yeah. Right.
Going on.
Yeah.
And so what they've done. I learned this the hard way. I remember talking to them. They were like, "Well, Rudy, I don't want to spoil it for you." But what they started to do was, which was interesting, is they had people would go to these events with their cameras, their phone cameras, would record these events.
Yeah.
come back home, make great like sizzle reel cut ups,
Sure.
put them on YouTube and get like, you know,
Right.
revenue off of
Right, right, right.
AdSense.
Yeah.
And so long story short, once they realized that these people were doing that, then they was like, well, why can't we do the same thing for our own customers? And so they will only stream the pregame show, the pre-event show,
Right.
and then they would direct people to go to like their OTT,
Yeah.
like Monster Jam
Right.
package to see
Right.
the rest of the
Yeah.
event
Yeah.
because you're not there.
Right.
And so they were always under the impression that that would draw away.
Mhm.
1 week they left the show running.
Oops.
On purpose though.
Oh,
They
okay.
didn't advertise it.
Huh?
So the fans are watching it, right? The pregame show, and they're like,
Sure.
all right. And then there's normally the drop off.
Right.
And then you could see in the chat, they said that people were like, oh my God, who didn't hit the switch? And so then they just started they did it for 6 weeks in a row. And then they started bringing on all the other venues. So they would have like Iowa versus LA versus Munich. So you as a fan, you would go, and if there was overlapping,
Right,
you
right,
just go to your YouTube channel. They have all these different monsters. So they call it the Battle of the Arenas. And it just increased like their viewership numbers. It increased their sign up. Like
Right.
Michelle, she's a marketer. She was like, this is the and I never talked to her. And all of a sudden, when she realized, because she saw the data,
She saw the data.
and so that
For
was
sure.
a way where now they were able to drive. People still purchased it,
Sure.
you know,
Right.
but it's just now they're able to get more
They were
people.
kind of, they got it hooked and they
Yeah.
understood the value of it.
And so they wanted to make sure. And so now their 2025 circuit is like they're gonna do more. And so now, there's times where they have 6 concurrent streams going on.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, you go to their
Sorry?
you go to their page. They just had their last one. So anyway, so that's what this is, right? So you're able to see how many people watching, the control, and then so you have full ability to start and stop. I can add, if I need to add more, the social channels. And so this is what I was mentioning earlier about the publishing component. So this is what we call our template. So right now I don't have anything set, right? So it's just in this first group, I can grab what we call a template, and I'm going to create a new one. And this is where you put the title and the description.
Nice.
And so you can actually do like one main title.
Right.
Facebook allows more characters, so I can, be verbose here and, truncate things here and so forth. Or I can just have one basic title and have it, cascade down. So I can say this is YouTube and this is, Facebook. We can auto append the date at the end of it for you. So
Nice.
if it's like we have a lot of podcasts or TV shows, and it's always the same title, but it's the increment each day. We have a little tie in to Twitch's game system. So for some of our old, like we don't support this, like we don't innovate on this is there. We're not going to get rid of it. But you can create multiple templates ahead of time. So you can come in and have all these different templates. And then when I come back to my workflow, so it auto applied it because we created one. And now if I go back to my YouTube channel, there it is, going live now. On the fly.
And there's the dates.
There's a date.
Very nimble.
Yes.
Very nimble.
And let's say there's a typo, right? So I can actually come in here and I can change that real time. So like if I don't want this to say hi Bob, right? And now this with the hit submit, it will update it for all the platforms that are in that group as well, and update it here, as well too. Once that's in, once the post has been pushed up there, as well. And then the last thing that I thought, this is when we did a lot of events. We have this feature, it's called Stream Share. And so this is pretty novel where, let's say there's third-party folks that you want to get access to their social channels. I can send them this link. They don't have to have a Switchboard account at all. And whether they're on their phone or their PC, they can do what I just did, right? So I'm gonna do the same process. I can come in and I'm gonna add, here's my personal account. So let's just say I add my personal Facebook page, or sorry, YouTube channel. So I can now add my own channel to this, and I've granted this Switchboard user the ability to now stream to that YouTube channel.
Very cool.
No username, no password, no manager, none of that stuff, right? And so again, I can turn that stream on, and now I'm live in a matter of seconds to that YouTube channel as well.
So I'm thinking, so right, I had a particular customer, and this was towards the tail end of um, remote, but what had happened is he wound up having a lot of churches sending him feeds. But it was very difficult for him to coordinate their information, their streaming information and everything to get it into our system.
Yeah.
So he actually wound up buying a hardware device
Mhm.
from Telvy
Mhm.
to do that, which annoyed me because I used to work there and he should have called me. But anyway,
Mhm.
so I perceive this as being, quite frankly, a much more elegant solution to doing that kind of thing. So in that scenario, let's take that scenario. He's a guy, he's got his one central place. He
Mhm.
needs to pull in all these streams from all of these, like 3 different churches every Sunday or something like that, without him being in their environment and them sending him back and forth, copy and pasting stream keys and stuff like that. That's what that does.
That's what, and so,
Beautiful.
so my very first like event, it was in 2014. Actually, it's funny. I was telling Brandon, I need to write like a blog post. So when I first, so I've been, like I said, video for a while. And my first event that we did was it's called the Streamies Award Show.
Streamies.
It's a Dick Clark production.
Okay.
It was at the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel,
Mm.
same place where they do like the the Golden Globes,
Sure.
in that ballroom,
Right.
but this is 2014 for YouTubers and Viners,
Yeah.
those influencers. And so we beat out, at the time we didn't have a UI. It was just all back in
Wow.
like the functionality. But they needed to stream that event to 15 different YouTube channels. They had a MySpace page. And so normally they would roll a truck out, hit it, send it back.
Right.
And so we were probably like a fourth of the cost. And so they went with us.
Wow.
And I knew some folks that, and that's when the work that we had to do to get access to all of those channels was,
Right.
it was a job in itself.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there was a musician that was there, and what they wound up doing, and like I didn't even want this, because they had to go through like the management, the artist, the
Mhm.
record label, like no one could get access to his YouTube channel,
Right.
And so they wound up or get approval, right?
Mm.
So they wound up going to him and made him change his username, his password temporarily,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
that I could get
So you
access.
could do it. Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I don't want this.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's like 0 hour.
Right.
He's receiving an award at the show.
Gotcha.
And so that's what
Yeah.
they did. And I'm
That's what
like,
they
yeah,
did.
this is not, because I'm liable. Like I could see everything. I
Oh,
could
for
delete,
sure.
you know?
Right. Yeah. Right.
I'm
Yeah.
talking like millions of subscribers, kind of thing. And
Wow.
so that's when I was like, there has to be a better way.
Yeah. No,
And that's what we did.
that's really cool.
That's what we did. And
That's
so
really cool.
it's evolved over time.
Yeah.
We used to be able to, like, you would send an email from our system.
Yeah.
And it'll say, hey, Rudy wants to, and you would go
Sure.
to this link. We used to build these branded pages
Mm.
because we did events for like Monster Energy and Harley Davidson. And so what they would do is they would do an event, and every writer that was in that event, Facebook page would go
Gotcha.
live. So they would go live like for these like motocross events, like exhibition events.
Yep.
And they would, and that was a way they would like amplify it. So
Yep.
that's when we did a lot of those
Yeah.
events where we
No,
were going-
that's, I really think that will be of a huge benefit
Yeah.
to my customers, like that one that I just mentioned, who's not in control of all these sources, but they still need to somehow wrangle them together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's perfect.
And so like, and these are like, I as a team member can manage these, independently.
Mm.
I can invite additional folks that, not there, team members, management team members. Yeah, I can invite other people to have access to my account. The other thing that we mentioned was sub accounts. So this is so as I'm Rudy in my one account right here, I have another account that I can have access to. So think of it like another tenant.
Sure.
Right? If you,
Yeah.
So now there's another account, and me as the parent, I can create more of those sub accounts. We call them right here sub accounts.
So for organizational
Organizational
things,
purposes, so I can silo like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
This, maybe I'm in production. We have a lot of production companies
Sure.
that they'll do this. They'll sign up and they're managing multiple events, and that's how they'll silo them off.
Yep.
And then they'll invite their customers to just that one account.
Yeah.
And so you can see right here, look, this is just me testing like all these YouTube
Sure.
channels and
Yeah.
Facebook pages. And yeah, it's simple to just go back.
So I'm all right. So the other thing where I see this really working well with our kind of customers is a lot of times we have the entity within an organization. We'll talk government because that's where we are today, right? Within the government, person who's putting out the meetings over the cable channel has really no direct connection to the rest of the infrastructure most of what I'm thinking is like PIOs.
Okay.
Right?
Mhm.
Go to all these seminars, go to 3CMA and all that. They're always talking
I'll be
about
there next week too.
like, YouTube channel, Facebook channel,
Yeah.
like all this other stuff. And they can debate whether or not that's a good idea or not. But a lot of times the people who are doing this, like we don't want to deal with that. That's another thing that doesn't live with us, that lives with somebody else. So what happens is the PIO winds up getting some kind of video delivery solution that doesn't work for them. It works for them or vice versa. These people don't get something that works for them. This is great. Our customers are putting out the meetings and dealing with the meetings and scheduling the meetings, getting them where they're supposed to go. Now you give the PIO this.
Yes.
And now they just grab what they need and they can publicize it to all the places they can go. It would be a great way to bridge a gap between departments that don't necessarily play well with each other sometimes.
That's exactly, let me see if I can see if there's an example. That's exactly.
Howie Car Show.
Oh yeah, they use our product. You know Howie?
Oh yeah, I'm from Massachusetts.
Yeah, he's live right now.
Yeah,
So let's
right now.
Well, he's not live. It's probably Grace.
Yeah, Grace.
Grace is
Curly.
live. So I'm not logged into my admin account. So we have a admin account.
No.
But yeah, they've been customers for 5 years.
Yeah.
So but
ever since he established the Howie Car Network.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, cool. Very cool.
It's funny. Like I don't know anybody.
It's a small world.
It is, But for someone like him, like they wanted to go to Rumble and they wanted to go to, they started doing a lot on X and like I've seen streams where he'll have like 5,000-6,000 people watching.
Oh, yeah. No.
And I was like, oh
yeah, he's a big deal. And then of course when he probably, he has an hour on was it Newsmax? It probably bumps up when he's doing that and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was trying
how does it work for capacity? Like are you throttling it? Like if 5 people or then suddenly 500 people watch, any impact on your service?
Because we're not serving the masses.
Yeah.
YouTube is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
So as long as our connection to YouTube is there, that's what we care about from a reliability perspective.
Can you do a free trial? I see that popping up at the top.
Yeah, you get 99 minutes.
99 minutes.
Yeah, so this is my free trial mode.
So is that the pricing model? Is it going to be by how many minutes you push out, or is there?
So when we were in, we've fully like committed to flipping our path forward, and so you now cannot just click and go. Like before, you could sign and check out, swipe your credit card and go. Like it's all inbound. Right. Now we're book a demo, talk to us. Right?
Yeah.
We want to, we're switching our model to outbound.
Right.
But we still think there's value in allowing people to play around with it and go live for 99 minutes to just check it out.
Well, how's it going forward though? Do they pre-purchase stuff ahead of time? Do you have package deals? I'm trying to kind of understand like.
Oh yeah. So right now it's we just charge input. So one RTMP input or SRT input.
Right.
And unlimited outputs. That's it, flat fee, either monthly or annual.
Okay, you give them options.
Yeah, that's it. And so as you can see, so here you go. One input, 3 team members. So the public sector is no 24/7. SRTs is an add-on. Our enterprise is 3 inputs, 10 team members, 24/7. Yes, cool. SRT. So yeah, this is on our pricing page. Yeah. So
what's the basic cost? What's your like
350 per month.
350 per month. That's great. I'm just thinking like, okay, like I get again, go back to my guy with the 3 churches. It's like, you know what, churches, if you want us to be on there, you gotta help me pay for the plan. Like I'll get the base one, and then every church that wants to add in on this, you guys are going to contribute.
So yeah, we've had there's I think it's a streaming church TV. They've been a customer for a long period of time. They have, I think, so this component, we actually built an embed, like a magic, like a way where they can take like a mini version of Switchboard, like the functionality, embedded into their application.
Oh,
so they have customers that they will start and stop their stream all from Streaming Church's UI.
Gotcha.
That was something we experimented with a period of time.
Yeah.
And in fact, it's I have a conversation later this week with another guy
Right.
where it's coming back around, and this time it's, I think, much more fruitful. So
Gotcha.
we did all the work for that, like from
Sure.
an API
Yeah,
perspective,
yep, yep.
and then it went nowhere. It was right during pandemic. We had some inbound.
Oh, yeah.
We want this in our application. Like, do you have white label? Like, no, we
Sure.
don't have white label. And then we said, well, how can we get there quickly and
Right.
easily? And so we said, well, what if we give you the ability to just like pull in like this little widget
Yeah.
and you
yeah.
can skin it, and they were like, yeah, that works. And so that's what we spend a good amount of time, and it taught us a lot.
That's
right.
cool.
But yeah, that's so all this is,
Yeah.
and still happening, about looking at anything, it's
No,
fully,
I
you get all
I
that.
appreciate. I mean, you could have showed it to me, and I'd walk away and go like, "That was the ugliest piece of coding I've ever seen." No, it's very nice. It's,
Yeah.
it's
And it's going to get better
yeah,
too.
no,
Like,
it's very cool.
yeah, like we have a full like UI that we're building, like a V2 we're starting with the scheduler component. So that's what we don't have, right?
Right.
And that's where I think we probably, my opinion, I think we're probably a year behind. We should have had this like a year ago, but we may do. But the goal is you'll be able to create that event, create the post on Facebook, YouTube,
Yeah.
the thumbnail,
Right.
get the link ahead of time, be able to schedule it, promote it
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
do everything that you would normally do natively on those platforms. We want to be able to do here. And
Right.
the last piece would be stream to those events,
Right. Yeah.
when need be.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's cool. We get asked that a lot too, is like, can we do push notifications and blah, blah, blah and stuff like that. And sometimes people conflate what they think they need from us versus what they need from their website developer or whatever. But yeah, I can definitely see where.
Yeah,
this-
we're gonna do that, like the Twitter, like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm about to go live. Like, if
Yeah.
you know you're gonna go live at 2 o'clock,
Yeah.
maybe you can do like a pre-tweet. Hey,
Sure.
we're gonna go live, and because we have your authorization,
Right.
to your Twitter account,
Yeah.
so we can
Why
publish
not?
on your paths, on your
That's very cool.
behalf. So those are just the necessity, the niceties, I guess,
Yeah.
we want to add, and we think that could be meaningful to comms teams as well.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
marketing teams as well.
Yeah,
so.
as long as they have the staff and the time, right? That's a lot of times people are thrown these projects and
Mhm.
they try to come up with a hardware or software solution for something that actually just requires manpower.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
This is all great. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Does its job really well.
Mhm.
Still need a guy to sit in front of here and do it.
You're right.
Like if you don't have that person.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
wow, that definitely, like I said, in both those directions, in both those scenarios.
Yeah.
I could see where this would be
And then
really well.